let me start from the beginning. I like to frame this conversation with the fact that growth and comfort never coexist. This was a quote from Ginny Rometty, the CEO of IBM. It's a shortened version of a much longer quote, but the whole concept behind this was she knew she was going to be taking that company on a long-term journey. From a $100 billion business, shedding massive businesses, thinking about how do we reimagine and transform what we sell, how we sell, who our customers are, and ultimately what kind of company IBM was going to be in 5 years. At the end of the day, she has been on a rapid journey towards doing that. And I will tell you, when she made this quote, at the time, 27 quarters had gone by with no growth. So can you imagine? You're the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company, publicly traded, and you have not had 1 quarter of growth in almost 3 years. So you have to think about, what does that mean? And what is the reason that many businesses are facing this issue? One of the most vexing challenges businesses have today, of all sizes, is growth. It's thinking about, what does that mean? Not all growth is good growth. And when I talk about growth today, I want to be really clear. I'm talking about top-line growth, the growth at the top of the funnel, the sales, not cutting costs for growth and not looking for M&A for growth. But the truth of the matter is that only a very small percentage of companies ever get larger than $5 million. So if you're one of those businesses that has been fortunate enough to cross that plateau, know that you're in an elite club. Remember, there is only 100 FTSE companies, and there's only 1,000 Fortune 5000s, and there's only 500 Fortune 500s. The mass of the business happens in small and mid. But what happens when you are a $1 million, $2 million, $5 million, $100 million company is you tend to get a little focused on being bigger from a revenue perspective, especially when you're not publicly traded. And so you have to think differently about growth and think about it from, how do I build a business that's consistent in profitability, consistent in its margins, consistent in delivering a compelling service and experience to your customers. That's what business is all about. It isn't only about growing at the top line, but we get very fixated on it. But the truth is that 80% of businesses, all up, will face what I call a growth stall at some point in their history, which means at some point you're going to go, we're growing, we're growing, we're growing, we're not growing as much, we're not growing as much. All of a sudden we start to flatten out, and then we start to decline. There was a statistic out for the Fortune 500 a number of years back that showed that a very small percentage actually grew in that year, yet they were still Fortune 500 companies. So growth is getting harder for small, for medium, and for large. But what we have to remember always is, if it's getting harder to grow, if it's one of the hardest challenges, if people are not able to crack that $5 million ceiling, that it takes 2 to 4 years to recover from a growth stall.